Hi guys, I just thought I'd give you an update on what's been happening since I ended the last video. As you recall, the last video I ended and wasn't sure what I was doing. I think I said that I was going to be trying to continue on to the second shelter, the Spruce Peak shelter, and spend the night there. And then the next day, the plan was 3 mile hike to Route 11 and the opportunity to get into Manchester Center and a motel room. So I continued on down the trail, and as I said, the pain just kept getting worse as the day went on. And fortunately, the trail turned into a boardwalk for a little while, kind of like the one in New Jersey. Then it was back in the woods and the rocks and roots for a while, and eventually I ended up on an old forest road. Oh, I think it was about 1.5 miles of the forest road. I was struggling along, and I think the only thing that kept me going was the adrenaline blocking the pain a little bit. And the fact that I was on the road and not in the woods kind of helped my spirits a little bit. I was hoping that the road would lead all the way to the shelter, but when I was about 2 miles from the shelter, the trail turned and went back into the woods and up a steep climb. And I made that turn and start going up, and I only made it about 15 feet up. It was very steep, rocky, and rooty, and I realized that that's not going to happen. So I went back down to the road, and the road at that point was actually Prospect Rock Trail, and it would have been the same distance to the shelter as it would have been to the trailhead. So I decided that it made much more sense to take the road down to the trailhead and at that point try and arrange for a ride into town. I had no idea if I would have signal or not when I got there, but I was taking my chance on it. I did pass a few hikers coming up to Prospect Rock, and I figured, well, if I can't get a signal down there, hopefully when these people come back down, I could get one of them to give me a ride into town. So by the time I got to the end, I was really in bad shape. I made a couple phone calls, unable to get a ride, and I noticed that there was a house nearby. So I went and knocked on the door and I said I needed help. The homeowner was very nice. I explained that I had hurt my ankle and I couldn't go on anymore. And he offered to give me a ride into the Econo Lodge in town. That was really nice of him. I can't thank him enough. So at the Econo Lodge, they were wondering if I should actually go to Rutland, which is an hour north of there, to a hospital. And I said, no, I'd rather just spend the night and reevaluate in the morning. And they managed to give me a room, even though they were sold out. They had a room that was under repairs and wasn't really ready for renting, but they rented it to me anyway. And after I was in the room, I called my wife, let her know what happened, and she wanted to come out right away. I said, no, there's no point in you rushing out and driving through the night like that. I said, wait till morning and then come and pick me up. And so the next morning, early in the morning, my wife was there and gave me a ride back home. For if I'm going to the hospital, I'd rather go to one that's near my house than way up in northern Vermont. So decided to just kind of sit it out, feel out how it was doing, and also made appointments and had 2 acupuncture sessions done on it, and they helped out quite a bit. Then the process of waiting for recovery began. I was still holding off on going to the hospital, and we had a office chair on wheels, so I spent a month and a half rolling around the house. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Wall-E. It's animated, and the people in the movie lose the ability to walk, and they roll around on chairs. I felt like I was in Wall-E. So after a month and a half, it was still painful. It would swell up a little bit when I walked on it. So I was taking it easy, just walking a little bit at a time, gradually building up, walking more and more. And at this point now, I can walk on it pretty good on the smooth surfaces of my lawn or my driveway, but I don't think it's really ready to be out on a trail doing the rough terrain that would entail. So at this point, my hike is over. Katahdin has closed for the season, so even if I was 100%, there's no way to summit Katahdin anymore at this time of the year. So that's out of the question. And who knows, maybe next year I'll get up to Vermont, pick up where I left off, and complete that 500 miles. I have to wait and see. And one other thing, I had been putting off doing this last couple of videos. I kind of stretched them out since I've been home because I was hoping that I would heal quicker and possibly get back up to Vermont and finish the trail, or maybe go to Katahdin and head south and finish the trail. But as time wore on, it just became more and more evident that my ankle was not going to be ready in time to complete the trail. So I managed to complete up to Manchester Center. That's 1,000, almost 700 miles. So good effort. I didn't quit. I got knocked off the trail, but I didn't quit. Thanks for following along. Hopefully I'll have some more videos in the future. Bye for now.